Good morning, everyone. I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order at 9:01 a.m. And we'll go ahead and start off with the land acknowledgement. Associated Students recognizes and acknowledges the first people of this ancestral and unceded territory of the Fernandino Tataviam Band of Mission Indians that is now occupied by our campus of California State University, Northridge. Honors their elders, past and present, and the descendants who are citizens of the Fernandino Tataviam Band of Mission Indians. Associated Students recognizes that the tribe is still here, and we are committed to lifting up their stories, culture, and community. We'll now go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand if you are able. Alrighty, I'll turn it over to our Attorney General for the roll call.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Vice President Anderson. Senator Bovnagry. Senator Chavez. Senator Doe. Senator Dunn. Senator Kaddish. Senator Iman Khan. Senator Owais Khan. Senator Mezabin. Senator Radionov. Senator Saravia. Senator Scher. Senator Tybee. Senator Toledo Carranza. Senator Tran. We have a quorum.
Wonderful, thank you. We'll now go ahead and move on to the approval of the agenda for today's meeting, January 24th. Is there a motion? 22nd, my bad, I'm sorry. Senator Tybee?
So I should approve the agenda for January 22nd.
Yes, it's fine. We can just change the date. It's all good.
I move to approve the agenda for today's meeting, January 22nd.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Saravia, thank you. Any discussion? Great, seeing none, the motion passes. We'll now go ahead and move on to the approval of the minutes for December 11th, 2023. Is there a motion? Senator Saravia?
I move to approve the minutes from December 11th, 2023 meeting.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Toledo Carranza, thank you. Any discussion? Great, see none, the motion passes. Okay, we do have a special presentation from Dr. Watkins here today. Thank you so much for being here with us. And he's going to give us a rundown of all things CFA strike.
Well, I don't know about all of that.
Oh.
Just
Maybe provide some updates and clarification then.
Good morning, everyone. It's good to see you all. Thank you for being here. I want to first thank you for your service from last fall. Most of you I haven't seen since we concluded the first part of our academic year, and certainly excited about the leadership that you'll all be providing to our students for the semester that's ahead of us. Kind of an unusual semester. I've been around here a day or two and never experienced a week where our faculty were out on strike. And so wanted to be available just to talk with you about that or answer any questions that you might have that I might be able to answer. And I want to acknowledge that you are going to hear versions of things. And if you've been on social media at all, you've been seeing a number of different kinds of versions about what's going on this week. But wanted to at least share with you what many of you have already heard and been able to read about vis-a-vis the correspondence that hopefully you received from Provost Kumbraju and myself that talked about the concerted activity, the strike on the part of our faculty that is set for this entire week. It included not only a bit of an overview, but also some FAQs, and so we can talk about that as well. I will hearken to add that since we issued that communication to all of you as students, we did learn this weekend that the Teamsters Union, which is the union that was representing all of our skills employees here, plumbers, electricians, et cetera, that they have reached a tentative agreement with the CSU. And so they're not out on strike today. You're seeing just the faculty who are out on strike. I don't know any of the details about what was agreed to. What happens is when the leadership of the faculty, the union negotiate with the leadership of the CSU, which is no one on this campus, that's in Long Beach, they enter into what's called a tentative agreement. That tentative agreement has to be approved by both the Board of Trustees as well as the union members themselves. So at some point in time, those employees would again have an opportunity to vote on whether or not the tentative agreement is to their liking. And so we're still a ways out from that all being resolved, but the net effect of that is that our faculty are the ones who are out on strike today. We want to certainly thank Paige and Josie for their collaboration with us in terms of giving us some feedback about how students might be experiencing or might be concerned about this particular week. And we're really grateful for the mounting of your own website here over their signatures, providing a message to from a student perspective about what's going on this week and providing FAQs that are there. Clearly, students are trying to figure out what's going on with their faculty. Quite frankly, most of the students that I've talked to indicate that they have now been communicated with by their faculty. Hopefully that is true for all of you, that there's no remaining question about whether or not your classes are going to meet or not. If you still have any wonderment about that, make sure you reach out to your faculty, because that's an individual decision. Although the union called a strike, individual faculty are making their own determinations as to whether or not they're teaching their class this week. If you should find that you're unable to reach faculty, the email that we sent out to you has a link that you can click on that will take you to the dean and associate dean for all of the colleges, and they should be able to communicate whether or not a particular class is going to be offered. All of our operational services, student affairs, administration, finance, et cetera, academic support services, all of those offices are open and operating now. Had a good conversation with all of our student affairs directors. You know, we recognize that we have an obligation to and a desire to continue to serve students even under these difficult circumstances where we are working our way through a labor negotiation. So all of the student affairs offices, counseling services, those counselors are part of the faculty union, CFA. We are able to continue to provide services through university counseling services. In fact, we know that for some students, a circumstance like this will be particularly anxiety producing. And so we want to make sure and we are prepared to provide support for students as they try to navigate through this experience of this week. You know, I want to make a couple of things clear. First, we're not upset and unhappy with our faculty. We know that they're absolutely at the core of what it is that this enterprise is all about. And we're caring about our faculty before and during and after the strike. A strike is something that is a part of their relationship through their collective bargaining agreement with management, if you will. And it permits that if they're unable to reach an agreement, they can choose to withhold services, better known as a strike. And that's what they've chosen to do. So we understand that. We are hoping that you know, you're probably aware that the CSU has given a 5% increase to faculty. That was not a negotiated increase. That was a decision on the part of the trustees to provide that increase. We hope that there is continuing conversation that will allow the parties to agree. I'm talking almost in the third person because it's also important for you to know that no one on this campus is negotiating a collective bargaining agreement, okay? We got 23 campuses, one collective bargaining agreement for all of our faculty covering all of those 23 campuses. And the negotiations around that are not about, you know, who heads CFA, and who heads administration at Cal State Northridge or State LA at Long Beach. That's all happening in the chancellor's office as a part of that negotiated process. I've had a couple of very intense communications sent to me as is if Watkins can go and settle this agreement. Nobody's asked my opinion about much concerning this. It is a centralized, highly centralized process, which is not atypical for any kind of a industry that is engaged in the collective bargaining process. So while individuals, yourselves, others of us may have opinions about things, it's the people who are at the table negotiating in that process that will ultimately, hopefully, reach resolution, and the parties will be in greater concert about that. So those are the key things that I wanted to share with you. There will likely be questions that are going to come up along the way that your constituents are going to be asking you about that you may not have a ready response for. Don't be shy about letting us know or letting Paige or Josie know that there is something that hasn't been addressed so that we can get answers to students. We don't want students languishing in a fog here about what the requirements are for them or how they might get their needs met during this period. Our student housing is open, and our students are having full access to the residential facility as well during this time. That community is there. We had some students actually move in on Friday. So let me just stop there and see whether or not there are any questions that any of you might have about the current concerted activity or strike here on our campus. Yes. Hi.
Hi, Dr. Watkins. Thanks for speaking to us today.
Yeah.
I had a question. I've been seeing something kind of circulate on social media where students are posting a screenshot of like the CSU website, and then you
Yes.
can report faculty and staff. And I'm seeing students repost this and be like, don't I guess tattle on these
Yeah.
professors and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm just curious what the intent of the page is, because if it is helpful, and it is helpful knowledge, for us to know who is striking, so then we can communicate that so students don't attend such classes. Maybe it's misinformation, or maybe we should be reporting it, or maybe we shouldn't. I just wanted your insight.
That's a
on
great
it.
question. It's up to every student. You know, the system thought that it was really important to create an opportunity that if you as students had something that you were concerned about relative to your classes, that you could report that. I mean, you're paying a tuition, you're here and enrolled, and there may be questions that you have about or concerns that you would want to report more centrally. That's all that is. It is not intended as some way, and I've seen, don't tattle, don't snitch, that kind of stuff. That's not what that site is there for. It really is to create an opportunity for the university to hear from students concerning, particularly if classes, if there's confusion about class, or you show up for a class, for example, that you thought was going to be meeting and it's not, students might not be happy about that, and they may want to report that in. They could do that. We've gotten some students who've written to us basically expressing support, using that as a vehicle for expressing support as well. There probably was some thought among some of us about students being in this position of feeling as if they were being asked to report on faculty. But it is the approach that the system has taken in terms of collecting information and creating an opportunity for students or parents or whomever to tell the system about things that are happening on individual campuses. Quite frankly, whether a website was there or not, we probably would have heard from folk if they had concerns about things. So that's basically what that's all about. Yes.
Hi, Dr. Watkins.
Good
Thank
morning.
you once again for coming. Another question based on the same link that is used to report faculty.
Yes.
Will there be any negative impact on any of the faculty if reported?
I'm not a part of what's going to be the reaction to that. All I know is they're not coming to me. And I think the system will have to decide based upon what kinds of things are coming in, what response might be appropriate. I mean, if in fact the student has some urgent, immediate concern, I'm hoping someone is getting that feedback and there can be an immediate response to a student. If the student needs an answer to something. On the other hand, if this is just a collection of how students are feeling about things, I suspect that could be summarized at some point in time, but there isn't some management reaction to that I'm aware of at the present time. Yeah. Yes.
I'm just gonna ask a quick
Right.
follow-up question to Yvette's question.
Mhm.
I was at CSSA this past weekend and we had a representative from the chancellor's office, Ray there. Love Ray. And you know, obviously we had a great kind of discussion about CFA and all this
Yeah.
kind of strike information. But he did indicate that the form was to keep track of professors that were not working, so they wouldn't pay them for that week. And I just want to make sure that I mean, that's chancellor's office information. This is university information. So what exactly, I guess, is the correct?
Yeah, and as far as I know,
Information.
it may not even be completely determined at this juncture. But if that is a question that students are having, we certainly can try to get an answer to that. And I'm not sure whether or not there was an FAQ that responded on that. And
Not
then-
that I'm aware of.
Okay.
No. Okay,
Got it.
thank you.
Yeah.
Any further questions? This is
On
a
that?
great, yes, Senator
Yes.
Tybee.
I might have a difficult time formulating this with the correct words, but I think there's a lot of like mysteriousness around the CSU or CSUN's budget and how that's allocated for professors, for the president. I know that there was that CSUN stated this, that if there was a significant increase in pay for faculty, then programs that specifically help students would be cut. But especially with the significant tuition increase, I'm wondering what CSUN's budget is looking like,
Mhm.
how flexible it is, how much is available
Yeah.
to assist professors additionally. Is it extremely tight? Just some insight in how that looks.
Great question. So there's been a lot of what I believe to be transparency around the budget and the budget building. All of the CSUs, and here I'm talking about the entire CSU's budget. The building of that budget has been reported publicly as a part of the Finance Committee report to the Board of Trustees. Not sure if y'all have a chance to take a look at that, but it really is useful, particularly this kind of time of year where the trustees are proposing a budget, where there's public reaction to a budget. I mean, the system said publicly how much it had built into the budget for increases. And essentially and it also said, as you might remember, that part of the tuition increase was going to be spent for compensation. I mean, that was stated publicly. And additionally, students said, and we also want some of that tuition increase to go to other kinds of services, and that is all publicly there. So you might want to go back and take a look at that particular piece. Here on our own campus, we have something called University Budget and Planning Committee. Not sure who from AS attends that other than Paige. I'm not sure if you go to that, but we have had a pretty public process of going through and working through various scenarios that say if compensation goes up by this amount and the campus gets money at a certain amount, do we have enough money, okay, from the CSU to cover the added cost, okay? We have done fairly well here on our campus, by and large, because our enrollment has been stable. Some of you who are interacting at the system-wide level know that there's several CSU campuses whose enrollment really is suffering. And so those, part of our funding is the tuition you pay, okay? So if enrollment goes down, that creates a shortfall. If you don't get enough money from the state, that creates a shortfall. So all of those numbers go in, and every campus has a different kind of a scenario. Most of them, like ourselves, will have to go into reserves to even cover the 5% increase that the other unions have already settled for. But we think that here at Northridge, we can manage that particular piece. What you've heard is that increases that are dramatically more than what these planning numbers have been will likely produce some additional strain to try to find the dollars to come up with covering the cost. Some campuses, if they're already struggling right now and they get hit with costs far and away in excess of what they have, they could unfortunately end up in layoff situations there. No one here at Northridge is having that conversation about our circumstances here. Based upon what it is that we know to be in the conversation right now, we don't anticipate that we're going to be laying off employees here. But those meetings, we've been trying to not only just be public and disclosing in a kind of a one-way narrative, but also to engage the campus community in ideas. In other words, if we don't have enough of this, what do you think we should reduce in terms of services or other kinds of costs there? So as those kinds of conversations are held on the campus, you might want to make sure you're weighing in because all of this ends up affecting you as students. I mean, at the end of the day, even if we were laying off employees, that would affect you because those would be impacts on the services and our ability to provide services to you. So you've got a ton of skin in the game, and so these are good questions. But my observation right now, based upon all of our public meetings here on our campus, is that we're not in a condition where we're anticipating that we're going to be laying off as a consequence of the agreements that have been tentatively agreed to at this point. Don't know if that answers your question.
It provides a lot of insight. Which, was it a committee that you said determines what was the name of that
Yeah.
committee?
So at the CSU system-wide level, it's the Board of Trustees. Okay, so at those periodic Board of Trustee meetings, you can view them online. Or you can go down to Long Beach. I don't do that. Look at them online. After those meetings are concluded, you can actually get to the minutes of those meetings and the videos. So you can actually go and sit and listen to what was the debate about between the students and employees and the trustees as they were wrestling with a budget. Basically, in November, the Board of Trustees adopts a budget for the next year. So we're working now on the 24-25 year budget. That's that's what our wish list is. Then in January, the governor comes out with the governor's budget. And you've probably been hearing a bit of that in the media in terms of the shortfall on the state side, the revenue there. And then in May, there's something called the governor's May revised budget. At that point in time, we're further into the fiscal year. We know a little bit about revenue for the coming year, and adjustments are made at that point. And then the governor and the legislature negotiate between May and the end of June to conclude a budget by June 30th. And it's not until they do their thing that we find out what we're going to get for the next year. Right now, the governor is saying that there won't be any increase to the CSU in funding for 24-25. Well, if our costs are going up, but there's no increase in funding, that creates a tension in terms of revenue and expenditures. I mean, that's basically what we're dealing with there. So, they're really big decision points, and y'all are partners in this stuff, and CSSA is probably the most active and informed student leaders about these kinds of things, and they're there and expressing student need to make sure that your needs don't get lost in the conversation. Great question. Other questions there? Oh, Patrick.
It's my understanding that the budget process is going to change a little bit this coming year. Campuses that are under enrolled will not get the same level funding. Is that?
So Patrick is making reference to the fact that during last year, there was the Board of Trustees approved a new enrollment funding plan. Heretofore, what's happened is if the state gives us an increase in its basically headcount, they may say, we're going to fund 10,000 more students across the entire CSU. And we would generally just apportion them out and everybody would get some, whether the campus was growing or not. Okay. So it was just across the board, some proportionate amount of money. The scenario now that Patrick is making reference to is that the board intends to provide additional funding to campuses that are meeting enrollment and growing. And those campuses that are suffering for enrollment, and you probably know there are several, they would not get any increase. And out over time, they could actually have dollars taken away. Okay. That's brand new. That's absolutely brand new. We have a new chancellor, Dr. Mildred Garcia. From what we know right now, she intends to continue that plan, which was established before her arrival. But you can imagine that produces a fair amount of heartburn on the part of some of your fellow students on campuses that may not be growing in terms of enrollment. Enrollment right now for our campus, as well as through the system, predicted for next year, continues to decline concerning transfer students. Our freshman numbers are up. They were up this fall. They're up the last fall. We think that's going to be happening this coming year, and we're going to be having some recruitment things that'll be happening here where we will want you involved to help tell our story and help tell prospective students about why they ought to come here. But the number of transfer students in the community college system has been low for at least 5-6 years, if not longer. And so if the students are not there in the community colleges, they're not there to come here to us. Okay. So that's the thing that's hitting most of the campuses pretty hard. But yeah, we'll have to see how this whole enrollment mix plays itself out. But we think that we're okay here. But we're only okay to the extent that we can retain our students here. You know, bringing in new students is one thing, but I'm absolutely committed to, and we speak so often about making sure that the students that we have are successful. I think our best recruiters are all of you who are having wonderful experiences here at Cal State Northridge. Yeah, thanks, Matt. Any other questions on that? Yes.
So I noticed that the CFA stated that they believe that there is sufficient money in the flush reserve accounts
Yeah.
to address the problem. And it seems to be that because that money isn't currently being touched, they believe it wouldn't affect any programs currently. Has the CSU management given any reason as to why that isn't being considered?
Yeah. Actually, there was a press conference on Friday, and the chief financial officer for the whole CSU talked about those reserves and exactly the components of those numbers. So there are reserves that the system has that in fact may be dollars that have come in from research and sponsored projects, grants that the campus may have gotten. They sit in an account, they look like reserves. There are dollars that come in for state university grants, for example. They sit in an account, they look like reserves, but they're pledged for other purposes. And then not unlike many business establishments, we need to have a certain number of months of reserves in the bank so that if something unexpected should happen here on our campus, that we can actually take care of that cost. It is always a debate about how much money do you really need. The final thing about one-time reserves, and you should think of it that way, one-time reserve. The debate is if you use one-time reserve dollars to pay for an ongoing obligation, once you've spent those dollars, you don't have the funds for the ongoing obligation. And so while it may appear as if in a given instant that the dollars are there, the question becomes, are those dollars going to be there going forward? When we give our employees a pay increase, that's in perpetuity. That's not for 1 year. So if you use your money for 1 year, the question becomes, what do you have in year 2? And so there's a lot of debate about that. I don't have a personal analysis beyond what is being shared publicly, but that's the debate that's going on there, is whether or not those what appear to be one-time reserves can be used as permanent dollars to take care of permanent expenses. Does that make sense? Yeah. Great question. We're getting to the good questions here. This is major stuff, y'all. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you're leading at a point in time where there are major kinds of issues being discussed. Tuition last year that's huge. I mean, that's speaking to the future cost that students will have to pay. Agreeing on these labor agreements will speak to not just it will speak to how our employees are compensated and how they feel about their employment, how they're able to contribute. And they are, again, our employees are our most valuable way and resource of serving you. And we absolutely have to have them there. We want them supported. Let me just say also, period at the end of that paragraph, really excited during the semester to be working with you in hiring of a new executive director for the Associated Students. There will not be another Patrick Bailey. There's only one of a kind here. And we're going to miss him when he's gone here, but really looking forward to working along with Josie and Paige to bring the next executive director of Associated Students here. Would also share that some of you may have recalled seeing a communication from the president at the end of the fall semester that shared that we are going to be hiring a vice president in the equity area. Not exactly sure what the job title will be, but we previously had a chief diversity officer, an officer level position. And we actually, we brought PMJ consultants aboard. Some of you actually talked to those consultants. And we know that to send the right message and to be able to provide the coordination of all of our efforts around justice, diversity, equity, and inclusion, that we need a very high level leader that will do that work of pulling it together for us. And so I'm really excited that that's in the future, it'll be a national search to bring in an excellent person to lead us in that space. And then the final thing I think I would share with you, otherwise I would be here to have a whole long list, but who's graduating this year? Yeah, let's give them a cheer. So you probably already have Grad Fest dates in your head in March, I think 13th and 14th. But get excited, get pumped up, make sure that you don't miss the opportunity at Grad Fest to go and to claim your tickets and get your regalia and etc. There is nothing more special than the experience of celebrating all of you as you accomplish your degree objectives. And we're looking forward to shaking a whole lot of hands this coming spring, and so happy that some of you will be a part of that. Are there any other questions that I might be able to answer, address for you? I'll also share, I've been smiling, we're issuing our first annual report for the Division of Student Affairs. And it's really pretty cool, actually. So we'll make sure that we get you at least a digital copy of that. Thanks so much for the opportunity to be with you this morning. All right.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us this morning and answering all of our questions. We really, really appreciate it. Just to provide that clarification for our students, and then they can always disperse that information to their constituents. So thank you again, Dr. Watkins. Alrighty, we are going to move on to open forum. Open forum is intended as an opportunity for any member of the public to address the Associated Student Senate regarding any issues affecting CSUN students. Speakers are allowed 3 minutes each to speak. Please sign in using the clipboard for minute recording purposes. Welcome to the floor, John.
Hey, it's on. Good morning, everybody. I'm John Dobler in Human Resources for Associated Students. I just wanted to share a couple things. Patrick spoke about it at our event last week, but in case you weren't there or had more questions, I wanted to talk about the student employees of the university and their efforts to vote to be represented through the CSUEU union, which is one of the unions that the university has a collective bargaining agreement with their employees. So some of the student employees of both this campus and across the system wide, they have expressed their interest in being a part of the CSUEU, and they have been approved to hold an election for representation. They've authorized that vote, and it will be coming up starting, I believe it's next week. The effort of being represented by the CSUEU, excuse me, does not apply to the student employees of the auxiliary corporations here on campus. Associated Students is one of those. We are a 501c3 nonprofit corporation. We are a separate employer and business entity than the California State University or CSUN itself. So those efforts don't apply to our employees. It's a good distinction to make because you may get questions from student employees of both AS and also students who are employed by the university as to what their rights are. We've been asked to, and we are required to help post a notice of election for the students of the university. It is posted by our front door and on our ticket office window so that it's helping to the students of the university who work for the university to be more informed of what their rights are regarding the election and their voting. If you are approached by an AS student employee and or another student employee and saying, I don't know what to do, what does this mean? Please feel free to send them to myself, send them over to Patrick. One of us, we're happy to help bring them to our office. Or you can reference the posting that's either on our door or on the next to our door or on the CSUN website. So with that, I just wanted to share that with you all. Thanks.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that and providing that clarification.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry. Good morning, everyone. It's super nice to meet you guys. My name is Jennifer Sarkeesian, and I'm on the agenda today to be appointed as the second Humanities Senator, and I'm really excited. I just wanted to introduce myself. I am a senior, and my major is philosophy with a minor in political science, and I'm also the president of the Philosophy Club on campus. So I really look forward to working with everybody in this room. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much for being here with us this morning and look forward to appointing you. Hopefully, I'm sure you will appoint you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jasmine Cesati and Daniel.
Oh, hello, everyone. My name is Daniel Lopez.
I'm the chair for the University Student Union Board of Directors for this spring, like my vice chair, and we would just wanted to introduce ourselves or reintroduce ourselves. I had the pleasure of meeting with Paige and Josie this fall with previous chair Daniel Moreno, but we just wanted to extend our support and anything that you guys would want to obtain our input in for students or our faculty just alike. And just to say, I saw a lot of you guys are graduating and I know me as well. So I know it can be really stressful. So I just wanted to extend our support in anything that you guys would want help in.
I also just wanted to share a quick update with you all. If you are aware, we are in the process of doing some construction plans for the basic needs suite that'll be right next door over here in the old pub and the South Plaza. We would love to have your support and your input in this process. We've been working with our student employees within the University Student Union and some campus folks about what they would really like to be part of in that naming process and what that space should feel like. If you all are willing to help participate in that process, I'm more than happy to help facilitate that or give the presentation over to Josie or Paige, just to gather your input, as I believe it's important to have all of our partners involved in that process, as this will be a building for all of our students in the near future. So yeah, if there's any questions, we're happy to take them. But again, we just wanted to extend our welcome to the semester and our support in anything that we can help you all out with and together. Yeah.
Thank you. We love our USU friends. And if you could just also sign in on the clipboard. Patrick's been. Also, with regard to the naming of the basic needs suite, we actually have a USU representative coming to our next Senate meeting next Monday to kind of go over that with all of our senators. So very exciting. So looking forward to that. So start brainstorming some name ideas if you have any for the basic needs suite. Thank you. Also, Jennifer, if you could just sign into on the clipboard when you get the chance. Thank you so much. Yes, Senator Chavez.
May I be recognized?
Permission granted. Welcome, James.
Good morning, everybody. How are you all doing today? All right, not bad, cool. Well, hello, everyone. My name is James Forster. I serve as the AS Programs Manager. So I'm here today just to give you all a brief overview of some of the events that we have going on this semester, just so you all are aware. So the farmers market will be back starting next week. That'll run every Tuesday from 10 to 3 p.m. There will not be a farmers market during spring break because people will not be here. And our last farmers market will be week 15 of the semester. So just so you all are aware. So if any of you are interested in getting lunch at the market, we will not have one tomorrow, but we will start back up on week 2. Otherwise, you know, in terms of the market, we'll have some of our normal events back as well. So the refill and repairs will be back once a month, which we're looking forward to, and I'll be sure to announce those dates as we get closer. Some additional things that we're going to do this year, some events. We're looking to do a Thursday thrifting style event where you can bring clothes in to be thrifted and also exchange for other clothes. So you'll see announcements for that. We'll have some of our bigger events, such as like Earth Fair will take place towards the end of April. We'll have our normal finals event for Finals Are a Drag towards the end of May. So just a really good semester worth of events that we have coming up for you all. And then, of course, the biggest thing, Big Show will be back this semester. We have not officially announced the artist as of yet, but we are looking to do that this week and make a public announcement for that. But just so you all are aware, so you can mark your calendars, Big Show will be Saturday, April 6th. Doors will open at 2 p.m. We're really excited about it. We're really looking forward to publicly announcing the artist and all of that kind of stuff too. So overall, we have a great slate of events coming up for this semester. And if any of you ever need any help with any of your own events that are taking place on campus, please feel free to let me know and I'd be happy to help you all out. All right, that's it for me. Thank you all.
Thank you, James. Yes, if you were at Reboot Camp, you probably saw the Big Show reveal, but hush hush until they actually reveal it. So yes. What?
Good morning, everybody. For those that do not know me, my name is Joey Cortez and I am the AS Outdoor Adventures Coordinator. And I just want to be up here to talk about Outdoor Adventures hosted a conference, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. It was the Western Regional Outdoor Leadership Conference. We hosted over 200 people through the course of 3 days. And I just want to give out some shout outs to that and just kind of talk about how that went. So the first shout out I want to give is to the OA staff. We both had trip leaders, Rockwall staff, both myself and David out there throughout the weekend, putting on everything that we need to do, all the prep and events that we held throughout the weekend. I want to shout out our marketing department. They were out there taking photos and videos of everything throughout the weekend, which I think is a first for Rolk. I don't think they've ever had official marketing coverage, so I want to give a big shout out to them. And they also helped us give us prep materials and stuff like that and helped us promote what was going on the weekend. We also had productions kind of help us out, deal with the contract kind of side of things, getting Patagonia as our keynote speaker. So I want to shout out James for that help as well. The ticket office provided their platform for us to allow people to register for the event. And I know that was a first time for them as well. So I want to give them a shout out too. And then lastly, as well, to all of you for providing financial assistance for us to get Patagonia as our keynote speaker. Just a breakdown of the event. Like I said, we had over 200 plus people attend from Friday afternoon till Sunday afternoon. We had about 15 different school programs, all ranging from different Cal States to universities as well. We had a networking expo in here as well that brought in different national parks, search and rescue, different outward stewardship programs to help provide career opportunities for those students. One of our keynotes was Sonia Wilson. She's a deaf climber. She did a presentation at the SRC pool to talk about their experience as being a deaf climber in the outdoor world and how to be more inclusive for that community and what their experience is like. We also had Patagonia, who is a drag queen influencer. If anyone doesn't know her, you should definitely look her up. She does amazing work. And she also helps promote DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion for the outdoors and for that community and is environmental activist and uses her platform to promote all of those things as well. And we had her do a keynote Saturday night after dinner. Some of the events that we put on, we did some climbing events that my Rockwall staff put on. We had neon climbing on Friday night. We lit up the rock wall in neon lights and had people come out and climb for an hour. We also hosted a bouldering comp, which invited all the different climbers from the different schools to come out and join us. We also had kayak jousting in the SRC pool, where we had different kayaks go at each other and try to push each other off, which was really fun, and everyone had a really good time with that as well. We did an O'Melveny hike in the morning on Sunday, as well as a climbing day at Stony Point on Sunday for those who wanted to attend. And then we had a wide variety of seminars for students that ranged from technical skills like knots, some first aid kind of stuff, to professional and career development, to as well as mental health and helping people in the outdoors, given when they're pushing themselves outside their comfort zone, how to help those people when they're in those situations and provide the best experience that they can. So again, I just want to shout out all of those people. Everyone, thank you it was a great experience. We hosted a great conference. Hopefully we won't have to do it again for a couple years. But overall, it was a great time, and my staff did an awesome job. That's all I want to talk about.
Thank you so much for being here and sharing all of that. It literally sounds amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing the pictures for marketing so I can like pretend I was there even though I wasn't. That's so awesome. Thank you so much.
And one last plug, our trips for spring semester opened up today at 10 a.m., which I don't know how many minutes is left for that. So if anyone's looking to register for our trips, we have a great lineup. So visit the Outdoor Adventures office as well. Cool. Thank you.
12 minutes, everyone, until the trip's open. Very exciting. Alrighty, we're gonna go ahead and put a pause before we do reports to turn over to our special agenda. So I call this meeting to order at 9:48 a.m. and I will go ahead and turn it over to our Attorney General for the roll call.
Vice President Anderson, Senator Bobnagry, Senator Chavez,
Here.
Senator Doe, Senator Dunn, Senator Kaddish,
Here.
Senator Khan, Iman Khan, Senator Awais Khan, Senator Mezabin, Senator Radionov, Senator Saravia, Senator Scher, Senator Tybee,
Here.
Senator Toledo Carranza, Senator Tran. We have a quorum.
Thank you. We'll now go ahead and move on to the approval of the agenda for today's special meeting. Is there a motion? Senator Tybee.
I move to approve today's special agenda for January 22nd.
Thank you. Is there a second? Vice President Anderson, thank you. Alrighty, we'll move on. Oh, is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, the motion passes unanimously. We'll go ahead and move on to open forum. Is anyone here for open forum? Highly doubt it. Okay. No reports. We will read those in the original meeting. But we do have some new business, and this is to approve the AS student election calendar. As you can see in the attachment to the agenda. They're already kicking us out, Josie. No, I'm just kidding. Alrighty, is there a motion to approve the AS elections calendar? Senator Saravia.
I move to approve the AS student election calendar.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Toledo Carranza, thank you. Is there any discussion? Vice President Anderson.
Hello. I was going to talk about this later, but since we're talking about what? This later? I was going to talk about this later, but since we're talking about elections now, I wanted to just remind you now that it's becoming real, the calendar's out, filing opens in however many days, like 20 days. Please, please, please keep election talk out of the office, out of AS events. I know it's difficult. Trust me, Paige and I ran a campaign. We understand it's exciting to be running, but please, anything that gives the illusion that you're running for office before campaigning opens, whether it's Instagram posts, things on your private story, please don't do that, just out of respect for the elections process. And if we see it, unfortunately, we'll have to talk to you about it. So just don't make us talk to you about it. Just make it easy for everyone. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, we're very excited for anyone who is deciding to run in this election, but it's just not worth it. And if you have any questions, you can always ask the Chair of Elections, Nikki, on, what is okay, what's not okay. And so she'll be able to kind of go over all of that with you and everything. So yeah. Is there any further discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of approving the AS student election calendar, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstained? Great, the motion passes. Alrighty, we will now go ahead and move on to final roll call. So I'll turn it over to our Attorney General.
Right here. Vice President, Vice President Anderson. Senator Bobnagree. Senator Chavez. Senator Doe. Senator Dunn. Senator Kaddish.
Here.
Senator Iman Khan. Senator Owais Khan. Senator Mezabin. Senator Rodionov. Senator Saravia. Senator Scher. Senator Tybee. Senator Toledo Carranza. Senator Tran. Okay.
Thank you so much. And I will go ahead and adjourn our special meeting at 9:52 a.m. And we'll go ahead and go back to our original meeting, our 9 a.m. meeting, and we're moving on to reports, starting with mine. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to school. Happy spring semester. I hope you all had a really restful winter break and recharged and are ready for spring, whether or not you're graduating. Yeah, it's going to be a really good semester. So first, I want to say thank you all for attending our leadership training we had over winter break, and also for attending Reboot Camp. It was such a fun time, both trainings. And I also want to say thank you to our staff, Kevin, Denise, John, Ariana, and James for all helping us plan out Reboot Camp. It was so amazing, so much fun. And the speaker was amazing and phenomenal. So really, really exciting stuff. Hopefully we all got a little something out of that. And I also learned that Daniel is decent at bowling. So I'm just kidding. So, maybe try harder next time, Daniel. Just kidding. Alrighty. Well, for a lot of us who are graduating, it's our last first day of undergrad. So that's really, really exciting. Kind of bittersweet, but also really, really exciting. There's so much out there for us to explore, and yeah, so really exciting. A couple things here. We do have the executive director search committee happening kind of this week. We have a couple meetings this week. We do have quite a few applicants that will be going over soon, the committee. So really, really exciting stuff. Obviously, as Dr. Watkins mentioned, there is no replacing Patrick. Patrick is his own special kind, but unfortunately, we do have to find someone to fill the spot. So that will be happening very soon. And obviously, I will keep you all updated throughout the process at each meeting with what's going on and what we're doing. I also wanted to give a huge shout out to the finance committee and our chair of finance and assistant chair of finance for wrapping up budget deliberations. It's definitely a very, very tedious process, but obviously our students are so lucky to have them and to be able to, have fun, to be able to put on events for their clubs and organizations. So thank you all, finance committee, for your hard work. Truly appreciate it. Yeah, give a big round of applause for finance, honestly. Thank you so much. Absolutely amazing, amazing work. Just in case you all did not realize already, I know we did kind of send out a couple emails and announcements, but Welcome Week has been postponed for next week. Just when, we'll see more students on campus and can actually, welcome them on campus and hand out all the fun goodies and everything. We do have information stations though going around this week. Today, excuse me, was canceled. We will have it in the office just because of the rain, but expect those, if it's not raining, the rest of the week to be outside. And you obviously should have gotten the sign up sheet sent from Vice President Anderson as well in the group me. So if you do have time, if your class is canceled and you're on campus, we'd really appreciate you, being at the information station. Obviously, you don't have to know everything about the strike, just, being able to kind of help students navigate maybe where to go if they're looking just for a place to, relax, or, the library's open, our offices are open, the USU spaces are open. So just kind of that thing. And we'll have maps and everything to hand out to any new students for the spring semester. Also, I had a trip this past weekend. I went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo for the CSSA trip. Really, really awesome campus. Beautiful campus, definitely different than CSUN for sure. They have a whole nother area with horses and a rodeo and all this kind of stuff. So definitely different than CSUN, but a really, really pretty campus. An amazing hospitality there. They're also wonderful. we did go over a couple little things that I wanted to just briefly go over with you all. And I'm sure a couple senators, my plan is to hopefully get this to external affairs. So anyone that is in external affairs this semester will probably see this. But just a couple things that were kind of important that I wanted to go over was an assembly bill, AB 928. I know this is a lot of like interesting language, but I'll kind of break it down for you all. About the CSU general education, the potential change to the general education. So essentially CSU, when you apply to CSUN, whether you started as a freshman or a transfer student, you had to fill certain GE requirements. And so obviously laid out like, oh, you have to have a certain amount of units under this, certain amount of units under that. And they are potentially going to change that to change the amount of units for what, freshmen coming in have to fulfill, or mainly transfer students have to fulfill when they're coming to a CSU or UC actually. And so there's a lot of debate on whether or not we should keep what we currently have or change to it's called Cal-GETC system. And so, obviously there's pros and cons to both sides. I'm not going to go over it super like crazy right now, but a couple points that we brought up is for the new system, we would get rid of a category which is called the lifelong learning category. That essentially a lot of your University 100 seminars would fit into that category. So that would be kind of gotten rid of. Whether that means that the whole campus would not offer that class anymore, or it's just not really a requirement. It just depends. It's like kind of campus by campus and what they want to decide. But that's a really big thing that was a big discussion that a lot of AS presidents had, was the fact that that's a really, really valuable and important class to a lot of our incoming students to kind of create that sense of belonging for them. And if they do go with the new Cal-GETC, so the new type of like GE system, that kind of requirement would be no longer there. So a couple other things that I would like to go over, but it's definitely a lot of jam-packed stuff. And so I'll hopefully be able to go over it with external affairs, and we can hopefully kind of go over it a little bit, maybe write a resolution on it, but expect that soon, obviously when standing committees start to pick up. Another thing, again, as Dr. Watkins was here, we went over the strike, a lot of questions about strike and graduation, and all that kind of stuff. As of right now, obviously, they're just kind of preparing for a 1-week strike. So a lot of talk about, graduation being postponed or the semester dragging out is not really in the talks right now, just because obviously we only are aware of the strike lasting 1 week. But of course, know that the chancellor's office and the university will definitely work as hard as they can to ensure that, there's little disruption to graduation or to, the semester being extended. And of course, if you have any questions with regard to the strike, feel free to reach out to Josie or I. And obviously, whether we're in the office, you want to message us or call us, we're here to answer and support you all. Hopefully you did get some kind of clarification from Dr. Watkins on certain issues. But there were quite a few questions that a lot of other, Cal State presidents had with regard to financial aid, or international students. And so as of right now, financial aid will not be affected if it's just this 1 week. It should be fine. It really will only get affected if the entire university shuts down, which hopefully won't happen. But of course, as that happens, or if anything happens, we will keep you updated with more information. Also with our international students, one thing to note is it won't affect their student visa or being here. And they don't have, what I was told from the chancellor's office, they don't have necessarily the same rights to be part of a strike. But obviously they can show their support in other ways. And again, we're here to support other students who want to show the support for faculty if they want to, and provide them that information. Again, graduation dates are the same. The academic calendar is remaining the same as of now. And again, if you have any questions, please reach out to us. Yeah. Let's see. That's really all for me. Just really, really looking forward to this semester. I hope you all really had just a good winter break and are ready for this year, or this semester, excuse me. And again, if you haven't signed up for a tabling spot for the information stations, please think about doing so. If you're on campus, maybe your class is canceled or something, and you have like an hour or so to spare, we'd really, really appreciate that. Just to kind of help our students understand what's going on and be able to guide them in the right direction. But yeah. Any questions on my report? Alrighty, seeing none, I will go ahead and turn it over to Vice President Anderson for her report.
Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. I hope you had a wonderful spring break. Spring break. Oh my gosh, winter break. I don't know why I said that, but I hope you had a good winter break and you got to spend time with family and friends and loved ones. I'm happy to be back. Happy first day of spring semester. I think that's what I meant to say. I like confused my words. Happy first day of spring semester. Happy graduation year for those who are graduating. So exciting, but also so weird. To give you an overview of winter break, before Christmas, we officially launched the search for the new executive director. Paige and myself are serving on the committee, along with a few others from across AS. We've reviewed the job posting and requirements and posted it. We're receiving applicants. We meet this week, we meet next week, so we'll provide updates as they come. Like Paige said, we're very sad to have Patrick leaving us, but we're also very excited to have a new person, a new executive director, and see their vision. After we took some time off to celebrate the holidays, we came back to campus, Paige, Sam, and I. We discussed our fall semester, analyzed our successes, where we had weaknesses, and talked about how we wanted the spring semester to go, set some goals for ourselves, for the Senate, for cabinet. I'm so thankful for both of them because we had such a fruitful conversation and talked about so many good things. And they are just such great supporters. So I'm very thankful to have them. Also, Paige and I met with Ron and Helen from Campus IT to discuss the plans for this semester's JAM competition. For those of you who aren't aware of it, the CSUN IT department holds a competition each year for students to compete in a technology-based competition. It's a little bit different every year with a different theme, but we met with them to talk about the theme, and as we get more details and they're finalized, we'll share them with all of you, so you can all attend and share it with your constituents. I'm also on the search committee for the new vice provost, which is getting started. We're also recruiting there and we'll start interviews later in the semester. So I'll provide updates for that as they come. And I know we talked a lot about the strike, so I won't touch on that too much, but we do have our information stations that are in place of Welcome Week since Welcome Week was pushed to next week. So please, we are really hoping that all senators and all cabinet members can sign up for at least one shift. I know with today with the rain, it got pushed back a little bit, but please still check out the sheet and sign up for them. And then also I'll be sending out the sign up sheet for Welcome Week next week. And on that note, I also wanted to share that the week of Valentine's Day, I'm planning a kindness week, which we did a few years ago. If you were on campus, I think spring 22 it was. We did a kindness week, but we are trying to recreate that and we're in the process of planning it. So if you're interested in helping out with that, let me know. And other than that, have a great week. If you have any questions about anything, talk to me, talk to Paige. We're here for you. So happy spring semester.
Thank you, Vice President Anderson. Are there any questions on her report? All right, seeing none, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Chief of Staff Ryan for her report.
Good morning, everyone. Just like everyone has mentioned so far, I really genuinely hope that you all had an awesome winter break and are ready and prepared for the spring semester. I know I am, but I'm also not. I feel like I don't want to graduate yet. I don't want to like leave here. But I know life has its own roller coaster and I'm ready for graduation. So I was mentioning to a few people earlier today that my mom actually works for LUSD. And as you may know, they actually decided to do a strike last year. So I'm very much aware of what the processes were. I'm very proud of my mom because she organized hers at her school. So yay. And so I understand what the strike means, especially on our campus. And I feel proud, but also devastated to see that, you know, all of our faculty are out there today in the rain. They're definitely, you know, fighting for what they believe in. So proud of that as well. Speaking of the strike, as we know, these links are being shared. We don't know 100% what they're going to be used for. So I strongly advise us as student leaders to educate our peers first. And if the process needs to be where they have to report their professors or the faculty, let it be known, of course. But at the same time, let's make first the initiative to educate our peers first on what their strike means, what our faculty really want, and that this is not meant to jeopardize their education overall. And it's no harm meant to be done to students. So it'd be great if we as student leaders share that first. Speaking of our wonderful reboot camp, I'm wearing the Jedi shirt today. I'm really excited to rep that today. So thank you to all of our faculty and staff who helped us with that awesome reboot camp. I had a lot of fun bowling with everyone, just being able to help around, seeing all the different AS organizations that work there. We rented out the whole bowling alley. I was so impressed with that. I had lots of fun with everyone speaking. Just watching everyone have fun was really rewarding to me. So as for our wonderful cabinet, I know that the winter break was a time for settling in on ideas and really preparing them. I know that each committee member for each cabinet member have been also thinking about really juicy ideas, as Cheyenne would probably say. And so I'm really excited to get back at it. I've been having check-ins last week to really set, as Josie, Paige, and I met with expectations for our cabinet members to just share that with them. Last week we had a few, and I'm going to continue with them this week as well. We're going to start cabinet meetings this week on Wednesday at 12:30. So I'm excited for that. This year we have a full cabinet, so no one's going to be missing out. I'm so happy for that. And we're going to change up a little bit of the processes that cabinet really takes. So I'll be excited to share that also for next week. And so have a great week. Feel free to share if you have any questions. I'm always here to, speak with you. You already know where my desk's at. So I'm happy to serve anyone here, and have a great week.
Thank you to our chief of staff. Are there any questions on her report? All right, seeing none, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Chair of Finance Tran for her report.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. I'm so happy to be back. Every time there's a break, I always long to walk around on campus. So it's nice to be back. I say that I'm very excited now, but it's in theory, I'm very excited. But once maybe the school semester starts, maybe that might dwindle just slightly. I'll start by sharing our account balances. Within STAR, we have $166,754. Unassigned contingency, $731,845. Both clubs and orgs assigned have $15,000 each, and clubs and orgs travel have $3,414. This winter break, my finance committee and I, we working on through the annual budget process. We went through 114 budget processes, and we worked to provide a thoughtful recommendation, which we're still in the process of tailoring, and that one that we hope to provide soon to Paige, our AS Senate, and the Office of Student Affairs. This year, we're on schedule, and it's wonderful. It also means that we can take more time to be mindful and make sure we're not disregarding or just trying to taking into account all the needs of all of our student clubs and orgs. So we had 114 budget requests. In this process this year, what we did was that we didn't do budget hearings. We went straight into deliberations. So this was new, and I'm very grateful for the committee as well as the AS staff and all the student clubs and orgs for being so trustful and open to this new process. So we finished our budget deliberations in 2 days, and the third day was dedicated to going over the code changes. We're still continuing with code changes, but this process completely is different from last year's. In that last year, it took us 6 full days, and this year it took us 3 days. We'll be continuing with our code on finance changes. I encourage all of our senators to if you want to provide input on any changes you'd like to see, as well as inviting you all to join or to attend our finance committee meetings, which are held every Monday at 12 p.m. in the AS Sustainability Room. Working on the code changes this year, this process has been super fun. It's been so much fun with all this creative freedom we have. And it's also really fun going back and forth between our committee members and debating what we think is right and fair and just. Additionally, I've been assigned to the CSU Committee on Generative AI alongside CSSA President Dominic Tressler. I'm really, really excited about joining this committee. It's one of my hobbies on the side. So it's even more fun that I get to work with really high personnel and being in these meetings with them. I've only been in the information session so far, but it's just so inspiring being in a room or a Zoom room even with all these very thoughtful and very articulate people. And I'm just so excited to continue working in that space. Moving on to announcements, the beginning of the semester is here, which means that a lot of reservations have opened. As Joey mentioned, the OA trip signups are now open and live, as well as like Soraya discounts. So as a student, we have like $20 tickets to the Soraya for any show. So it's wonderful. Side note, if you're also into like Philharmonics, the LA Walt Disney Hall, you can sign up free for that. And they're about $10 tickets. There's a processing fee, but the price is comparable to the Sorayas, which is fantastic. And also booking at the Klotz Health Center is also open. So if you want to try doing acupuncture or cupping and things of that nature, the bookings go pretty fast. And that concludes my report for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to our Chair of Finance. Are there any questions on her report? Great, seeing none, we'll go ahead and turn it over to our Attorney General.
Good morning, everyone. I know this meeting's been pretty long, so if you need to take a couple deep breaths or get your jitters out, you should do that. We got to be reinvigorated for this next semester. This is going to be the semester where you really have the chance to leave your mark on CSUN and to make a difference. So I hope you all join me in being even more committed, more motivated, and more driven to be making a positive change, even more so than last semester. We actually have the capacity to affect people's lives. So let's use this brief opportunity to the fullest. Next week, we're going to be starting our committees and our office hours. If you haven't already thought about your office hours or who you want to nominate for a committee, you have the chance to nominate yourself or someone else to be chair of the 3 committees. And that's going to be happening in this meeting. So if you want to re-look over that list of who's on each committee, so you know if you want to nominate someone to be chair for those. With one exception, Senator Doe is going to be moving to University Affairs. And also don't be afraid to nominate yourself or someone else if they weren't the chair last semester. Just because they were the chair last semester doesn't mean they have to be at this semester. So you're not really upending anything if you want to nominate someone who wasn't the chair last semester. And with office hours, please look at your schedules and determine 4 hours each week that you can be scheduled to be in the office. And I'll ask for a deadline of this Saturday at 5 p.m. To get those to me. So just take a look at your schedules, 4 hours where you can be in the office. Get that to me Saturday at 5 p.m. Also, with the strike going on and the bit of information we got about the student union effort, I did want to give a little more clarity on that. So that election is going to be starting on Thursday, the 25th, and it's going to be going on for a few weeks. And that's going to be for stateside employees who get to vote whether or not to form a union. I know many of you are probably student assistants yourself stateside. And that's going to be fully virtual for your constituents and yourselves if you are a student assistant. So it'll just be through email, and then there'll be like an online link where you can vote. So if there's a majority yes vote, then student assistants will join the Cal State University Employees Union, and they'll start the process of bargaining for a better contract. And thank you all for the work you're doing, and welcome back.
Thank you to our Attorney General. Are there any questions on his report? All right, seeing none, we are going to just skip over standing committee reports since those that meet, obviously. And again, like Golden said, we'll nominate the chairs soon. But we will go ahead and turn it over to our AAS Executive Director, Patrick Bailey, for his report.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I also wanted to echo the thanks for all the people that put together the Reboot Camp. I think that Dr. Pierre had a great keynote. It was great to see so many people engaged with his words. Some of us have known him for a long, long time. So it's great to see him come home and give that presentation. I think the one thing that he said that kind of echoes on what you just said, Golden, is that you sometimes don't see the legacy that you leave. And so it's interesting when you'll see President's Day, which is coming up in February, where we invite former AS presidents and vice presidents to come back. It's very interesting to see the pride that they have in things that they started but never saw. For example, the blue lights. You'll hear one of the AS presidents say that they started the escort service, and they're the reasons why there's blue lights on campus. So you'll hear a lot of those stories. There are some presidents that started the land acknowledgement, and AS started that. We were the first group to really use that regularly on our meetings. So there are lots of things that people look back and see what their legacies are. So it'll be interesting when you come back in 20 years to see what things that you did this year that you didn't really realize that were going to be a legacy or a tradition that you had started. So again, thank you all for coming to Reboot Camp. I'm sorry I didn't bowl as well as I should have. I only got the little banana trophy, but that's okay. The IRA budget, as we've talked about, the campus budgets and the organization's budget. IRA budget is starting as well now. So we will send that information out to all the faculty. We have 2 workshops for faculty, so they can ask all the questions they need to know about how to apply for IRA. And so that will happen. The budget process starts February 2nd, and all of the faculty need to have their budgets submitted by the 8th of March, and then their deans have to approve them by the 14th. The last update I have for you is an office refresh update. The furniture is here. Yay. So this week, hopefully you'll be seeing the new furniture both in the admin area, but also in the student leadership area with your storage components. So hopefully that'll be wrapped up this week. And with that, just have a great semester. That's it for me today.
Thank you so much. I mean, I still think you bowled better than Daniel, so I wouldn't worry about it. I'm just kidding. Daniel's not here to hear the joke. Darn it. Thank you all so much. And yes, more office refresh coming our way. Very, very exciting and looking forward to that. Alrighty, I will go ahead and now turn it over to our university advisor, Asia Butler, for her report.
A quick announcement. So we have Meet the Clubs next week on Tuesday, the 30th and Wednesday, the 31st. And then we also have Meet the Greeks happening on Tuesday, the 30th in the evening time in the same location. Thank you.
Yay, lots of recruitment opportunities, and yeah, make sure to remind your constituents about Meet the Clubs and Meet the Greeks. Alrighty, we'll go ahead and turn it over to our faculty advisor, Vita Ward, and Madeline will be reading her report today. Yeah, okay. So this is from Vita Ward. I'm submitting my report for the meeting scheduled for January 22nd, which I will not attend. Below are a few points I can share with you as we start off of what we hope will be a great semester. First, welcome back, and I hope you had a restful and amazing winter recess. I hope you are back energized, or sorry, I hope you are back energized, ready for new learning adventures as we navigate our new semester. Second, it is important to be aware of work stoppage and related activities to call attention to employment issues among faculty that, according to the California Faculty Association, include concerns about family leave, appropriate and accessible family bathrooms, and work conditions, as well as salary. These may all affect quality of life. Thank you for your review and thoughts on this matter. Many of us have professional colleagues, family members, or peers who are impacted by labor issues. Third, there are numerous conferences, workshops, and funding opportunities coming up this semester. Please ask your faculty members to make these known and how students may be involved. For example, your participation may lead to a new career opportunity, meeting a possible mentor for a certain area of research. Fourth, continue your involvement on Faculty Senate standing committees as part of our shared governance model at CSU Northridge. Your point of view is important to share with the faculty as they deliberate the best learning experiences we can design and deliver for our students and extend our competence in our communities. Finally, we are all concentrating on being the best we can be, and that includes in the classroom. Sometimes you may be the catalyst for change in energy or direction for another student or faculty member. Share your role as a senator with your professors and engage constituents on committees or as you pursue town halls and tabling. Don't forget the importance of one-on-one conversations that make our campus a positive and memorable life experience. I look forward to working with you, Dr. Vita Ward, and that's it. Alrighty, thank you so much, Madeline, for reading her report. Hopefully she's doing well and enjoyed her break. Alrighty, we don't have any unfinished business, but we do have new business, as Golden mentioned, and this is to nominate and approve a chair for the standing committees this semester. We will go ahead and start with external affairs, and reminder that you can nominate yourself or you can nominate someone else. And Golden did send out the list of individuals who are on each committee, so you should have that in your Senate inbox. Yes, go for it. And just also heads up too, if there are multiple nominations for one standing committee, we'll probably have you give a quick, brief, like 30-second to a minute little like elevator pitch just to explain why you either, you think you're the best fit for the chair. And yeah, so we'll start off with external affairs. Senator Tybee.
I'd like to nominate Senator Kaddish.
Senator Kaddish, do you accept that nomination?
Yes.
Awesome, thank you. Are there any other nominations for external affairs? Okay. Seeing none, Senator Kaddish, would you like to give us a quick, brief speech, or are you okay?
Sure. I'll keep this brief. Yeah, so looking forward to this next semester with external affairs. I think we had a really productive last semester, but I think we have the capacity to do even better this semester. And I think there are some ideas that I have that I'm willing to propose to the committee and to find ways that we can be more productive. And but yeah, excited to work with y'all.
Yes, Senator Reddy. Alrighty, thank you. Jonathan, would you like to give us a quick little brief speech?
Yeah, I accept the nomination. I was on the internal affairs last semester as the VP, and excited to be on the external. I think I bring a lot to the table.
Alrighty, thank you. Are there any more nominations? This is the last call for nominations. All right, seeing none, we're gonna go ahead and take a vote. All of those in favor as Senator Kaddish for the Chair of External Affairs, please raise your hand. Okay, all those in favor of Senator Scher as the Chair of External Affairs, please raise your hand. Alrighty, and any abstained? One abstention, thank you. Alrighty, looks like Senator Kaddish will be our Chair of External Affairs. Congratulations. Thank you so much for serving again. Alrighty, we will go ahead and move on to internal affairs. Again, self-nomination, or you can nominate someone else. Yes, Senator Kaddish.
I'd like to nominate Senator Tybee.
Thank you. Senator Tybee, do you accept the nomination?
I accept.
Thank you. Are there any further nominations? Okay, this is the last call, so I'm not going to accept any more after this. All right, seeing none, Senator Tybee, would you like to provide a brief little speech?
Yeah, I remember the first time I was nominated last semester. It was the only time I could have been, but I pitched that it was for personal growth, and that was to really help me like talk in front of a large group of people. And I feel like it has, but something really unexpected was I actually found it to be a lot of fun. And there's one thing that I'm really proud of, and it's not that we were the first committee to bring something to Senate, but it's that our participation became extremely high about midway and especially by the end. And we used tools like informal voting halfway in to like quickly spark some conversation, and interactive Google Docs that we utilized throughout our meetings. So I'm excited to continue running these, and I hope to incorporate tools like this and brainstorm other new tools that can help us be as productive as possible.
Great, thank you so much, Senator Tybee. Already, we'll go ahead and take a vote. All those in favor of approving Senator Tybee as the Chair of Internal Affairs, please raise your hand. Yep. Okay, the motion passes unanimously. Congrats. And thank you for serving again. Really appreciate it. And lastly, we have University Affairs. Okay, Vice President Anderson. No, I was just gonna say again, self-nomination or you can nominate someone, but go for it.
I nominate Senator Saravia.
Thank you, Senator Saravia. Do you accept that nomination?
I do not accept it.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Senator Doe.
I nominate Nathan Dunn.
Thank you. Are there any further nominations? Oh, Senator Dunn, do you accept that nomination?
Yes.
Thank you. Any yes, Senator Scher.
I nominate Senator Tran.
Senator Tran, do you accept that nomination?
I do.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, Senator Tybee.
I nominate Senator Toledo Carranza.
Senator Toledo Carranza, do you accept that nomination? Okay. Any further nominations? I think we went through everyone probably. Alrighty, Senator Dunn, would you like to provide us a brief little overview?
Sure. Alrighty, so this semester, I made a leap pad for us from the previous semester with our Wine and Dine event. So we gathered a lot of great ideas, not just from ourselves, but from constituents around the university. And now I hope to bring those ideas, more formalize them, and see how we can carry them out through university affairs.
Thank you so much, Senator Dunn. Alrighty, we'll go ahead and take a vote. All those in favor of approving Senator Dunn as the chair of University Affairs, please raise your hand. Alrighty, any abstained? The motion passes unanimously. I don't even know why I said that. Alrighty, congratulations, Senator Dunn. Looks like we have the same 3 chairs and just probably continuing the amazing work that you all are doing. And again, vice chairs will be selected during the standing committee meeting. So if you want to potentially be a vice chair, if you're maybe nominated for chair and maybe you want to be vice chair, this is a great opportunity to think about that. Alrighty, we'll go ahead and move on to new business item B, not number, to approve the following appointment. Jennifer Sarkisian. Okay, my friend had the same last name. That's alrighty, for Humanity Senator. Is there a motion? Senator Saravia.
I move to approve Jennifer Sarkisian to be the Humanities Senator.
Thank you. Is there a second? Senator Tran, thank you. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing no discussion, all those in favor of approving Jennifer Sarkisian as the Humanities Senator, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Any abstain? The motion passes unanimously. Well, congrats. Welcome to Senate. Very exciting to have you here. And thank you for being here this morning as well. Yeah, you can officially take a seat at the table. Alrighty, we don't have any information items or discussion items. We will assign legislative referrals next week when we actually have standing committees. We do have like 1 or 2 from last semester that we'll go ahead and assign next week. But are there any announcements? Vice President Anderson. Oh, I didn't even see your hand. I'm so sorry, Senator Saravia.
So I just wanted to announce that our CSUN women's rugby season is going to start next week. Our first game is next Saturday against UC Irvine. Unfortunately, we were supposed to have a game this weekend, but the University of Las Vegas had to cancel due to unforeseen circumstances. So next week we will be having our first season opener here at home. So I'm really hoping some of you guys could come make it. And I'm giving you like a week in advance notice just so you guys could maybe find some time. But I would love to see you all there. But that was it.
Thank you. And yeah, I don't really think the Anteaters are going to stand a chance against the Matadors. So awesome. Thank you for sharing. Vice President Anderson.
I just wanted to share, as some of you probably know, I interned in DC and I'm interested in legislative policy, all those things. And one of my policy interests is homelessness. So the Greater Los Angeles homeless count is tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday. And I know we're all busy students, but we do have most classes canceled this week. So if you have some free time, you can sign up to volunteer to assist with the homelessness count. It's really important for the city of LA to have accurate numbers in order to make data-driven decisions of how to deal with homelessness. So if you have some free time, you should look it up and sign up to volunteer. And also just being aware of it is really important and sharing information on social media. So if you have any questions about it, let me know. I'm also interning for Congressman Schiff this semester in the district. So if you have any questions about that, just legislative interest, let me know and we can talk about it. But yeah, have a good week.
Thank you. Are there any further announcements? Alrighty, seeing none, I'll go ahead and turn it over to the Attorney General for the final roll call.
Vice President Anderson. Senator Bovnagry. Senator Chavez.
Here.
Senator Doe. Senator Dunn. Senator Kaddish.
Here.
Senator Iman Khan.
Here.
Senator Awais Khan. Senator Mezabin. Senator Radionov. Senator Sarkeesian. Senator Saravia. Senator Scher.
Here.
Senator Tybee.
Here.
Senator Toledo Carranza. Senator Tran. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Golden. And I go ahead and adjourn this meeting at 10:33 a.m. Thank you all so much for being here. Reminder, offices are open during this time. So if you want to hang out in there, get some work done, you're more than welcome to. And yeah, and again, that's where our information station will be located, is our office today. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care.